Hello, welcome to the Learn English Lab.
Hi, everyone.
Today, we're diving into something really practical. A collection of, I think it's around 100 common English phrases you hear in daily conversation.
Yeah, and this isn't just about, memorizing a list.
Right. We want to unpack how these phrases actually work, why they're so important.
And how using them can really help you sound more natural, more confident when you're speaking English.
Exactly. So whether you're really aiming for fluency, maybe preparing for specific interactions, or you're just, curious about everyday English.
Then this should give you some valuable insights.
Okay, so let's start with the why. Why focus on phrases specifically, especially for maybe more advanced learners?
Well, it's actually pretty crucial. Think about it, these common phrases, they're like the building blocks of conversation.
Okay.
Each one carries a specific meaning, and sometimes that meaning isn't obvious just from looking at the individual words,
Right, like idioms or set expressions.
Precisely. And mastering them helps in a few key ways. First, like you said, sounding natural. Native speakers use these all the time without thinking. It's just efficient.
And it probably helps with fluency too, right? Being able to respond faster.
Definitely. If you have these sort of pre-packaged phrases ready, you can respond quicker. You don't have to build every single sentence from the ground up.
Like having a mental toolkit.
Yeah, exactly. A linguistic toolkit. Plus, these phrases often carry cultural nuances, situational context. Understanding them gives you a deeper insight into how English is really used day to day.
And I guess it helps with listening too, recognizing patterns.
Big time. You start hearing these patterns, and it makes understanding fast, natural speech much easier.
And often these guides organize phrases by theme, which seems like a really helpful approach.
Oh, absolutely. Grouping them thematically just makes sense. You see how different phrases work in similar situations, like greetings or asking for help or agreeing.
It connects the dots.
It really does.
Okay, let's jump into the first theme then. Greetings and introductions. We'll start with the absolute basics. Hello, hi, and hey.
Right. The main thing here is the level of formality. Hello is probably the most versatile, maybe slightly more formal.
Okay.
Hi is super common, pretty neutral, less formal than hello.
And hey.
Hey is definitely the most informal. You'd mostly use that with friends, people you know well, or in very relaxed situations.
Got it. So an example like, hello, I'm Sarah and I'll be your guide today. That sounds quite formal, maybe for a tour or a presentation.
Yes, exactly.
Then, hi, do you have a minute to talk about the project? That feels more like a quick chat with a coworker.
Standard office interaction.
And hey, long time no see. How's everything going? Clearly casual, catching up.
Yep, friends bumping into each other.
And the last one, hello, could you please direct me to the nearest station? Uses that slightly more formal hello for a polite request to a stranger.
Perfect example showing the range.
Okay, next up, how's it going?
How's it going?
Yeah.
It's really common, especially I think in American English. It's informal.
More casual than how are you?
Yeah, generally. And the expected answer is usually pretty brief, relaxed. Good, you. Or not bad, something like that.
So you wouldn't usually launch into a long story?
Not typically. Unless the context suggests otherwise, it often functions just as a slightly more elaborate hello.
Okay, so examples. How's it going? I haven't seen you in ages. That's a warm, casual reunion kind of greeting.
Right.
Hey, how's it going with your new job? Friendly check-in. How's it going? Did you finish that book you were reading? Just a light conversational query.
Yeah, keeping the chat going.
And I just bumped into Mark and I asked, how's it going? Showing that spontaneous use.
Exactly. It's versatile in informal settings. Just, maybe gauge the situation. If someone looks really upset, maybe it's not the best opener.
Good point. Okay, then we have nice to meet you.
Standard, polite, essential. You use this when you're introduced to someone for the first time.
Formal or informal?
Both, really. It works in most introduction scenarios. It just conveys friendliness, respect.
And adding their name makes it a bit more personal, right? Nice to meet you, John.
It does, yeah. Shows you're paying attention.
So, nice to meet you, John. I've heard great things about your work.
Yeah.
It's polite, maybe professional.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Lisa. Nice to meet you. Very direct, simple introduction.
Classic.
Nice to meet you. How long have you been working here? Shows how it can naturally lead into further conversation.
Good follow-up.
And after shaking hands, she smiled and said, nice to meet you. Highlights the typical timing right after the initial intro.
Right after learning the name, usually.
Okay, last one for greetings. What's up?
What's up? This was very informal. slangy even.
So definitely not for a job interview.
Definitely not. Best safe for friends, very casual situations. Basically means what's happening or how are you, but in a really relaxed way.
Does it always need a real answer?
Not necessarily. Sometimes it's just another way of saying, hey. Someone might just reply, hey, or not much. What's up with you?
Okay, examples. Yo, what's up? Want to grab some coffee? Super informal invite.
Time book example.
What's up? You look like you're in a rush. Combining the greeting with an observation.
Yeah.
I called my brother and said, what's up? How's college? Casual check-in with family.
Yep.
And what's up with you? You've been super quiet today. Here, it sounds a bit more like asking if something's wrong, but still informal.
Yeah, the with you can shift the meaning slightly towards concern, but still fundamentally casual. Key is knowing your audience.
Absolutely. Okay, that wraps up greetings. Let's move to the next theme. Asking for information. First phrase, could you tell me?
This is a great one. Super useful and very polite. Using could softens the request compared to just asking directly.
Right, less demanding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It works in both formal and informal settings. You just follow with whatever specific information you need. It's a good example of indirectness in English politeness.
Okay, like could you tell me where the nearest pharmacy is? Polite request for direction. Could you tell me what time the meeting starts? Respectful way to ask about schedules. Could you tell me how to reset my password, please? Polite, even with a technical request. Adding please is common too.
Yes, adds another layer of courtesy.
And I approached the receptionist and said, could you tell me if Dr. Smith is available? Clearly shows its use in a more formal setting.
Very adaptable phrase.
Next one for asking info. Do you know?
Okay, do you know? This is more about asking if the person possesses the information.
Ah, okay, so not directly asking them to provide it yet.
Kind of. It's a bit less direct than, could you tell me? Maybe slightly less formal, though still perfectly fine in most situations. You use it when you're maybe unsure if they even have the answer.
Right. Examples. Do you know where I can find a good Italian restaurant? Casual request for a recommendation.
Yep.
Do you know if the train is running on time? Common travel question.
Uh-huh.
Do you know who won the game last night? Social inquiry.
Casual chat.
And I asked my colleague, do you know how to use this software? Workplace example, checking for knowledge.
It's a good way to gauge if someone can help before asking for the detailed help itself.
Makes sense. Okay, third one. What do you mean?
Right. This is for clarification. When someone says something and it's just not clear to you,
It sounds quite direct.
it is, and that's important. Your tone of voice matters a lot here. Delivered neutrally, it's fine. But it can sound a bit confrontational if you're not careful.
So tread carefully.
A little bit, yeah. Or preface it maybe with sorry, like in one of the examples.
Okay. So what do you mean when you say the project is delayed, seeking specific clarification?
Yes, asking for the implication.
Sorry, what do you mean by flexible hours? Asking for a definition using sorry softens it.
Good example.
What do you mean? I thought we agreed on the plan. Expressing confusion, maybe a bit more pointedly.
Yeah, context and tone are key there.
And when she said, it's complicated, I replied, what do you mean? Direct push for explanation of vagueness.
It's a necessary phrase sometimes, just use it thoughtfully.
Got it. And the last one in this section, can you explain?
This is also for getting more information, but it specifically asks for a more detailed explanation.
So more than just a quick clarification.
Yeah, you're signaling you need a deeper understanding, maybe a step-by-step, or the reasoning behind something. It's polite, common in learning or professional settings, but fine casually too.
Okay. Examples. Can you explain how this machine works? Asking for instructions, a process.
Right.
Can you explain why the deadline was moved up?
Yeah.
Asking for the justification.
The reasoning.
Can you explain the rules of this game one more time? Needing more detail to understand.
Common when learning.
And I raised my hand and said, can you explain the equation again? Classic classroom training scenario.
It clearly signals I need more detail to grasp this.
Okay, great. So we've covered greetings and asking for info. What about when you want to give your own view? Let's talk expressing opinions. A common one is, I think.
Yes, I think, is probably the most straightforward way to introduce your opinion or belief. It's neutral, works in almost any situation.
But it also signals it's just your perspective, right? Not necessarily a hard fact.
Exactly. It softens the statement slightly. You're presenting it as your viewpoint. Like, I think we should reconsider the proposal.
Or, I think it's going to rain later.
Or, I think she did a fantastic job on the presentation.
And maybe, I think that's a bit too expensive personally.
All clear examples of stating a personal belief or assessment.
How about, in my opinion? Is that different?
It's similar, but perhaps a touch more formal. It explicitly frames the following statement as your opinion, separate from others.
So maybe use more in discussions or debates?
Often, yes. Or when you want to clearly distinguish your view. For example, in my opinion, the second option is better.
Or, marketing might disagree, but in my opinion, we need more research.
Good one. It acknowledges other views might exist. In my opinion, the film was overrated.
He's a good candidate, but in my opinion, lacks experience for this specific role.
Clear, formal framing of a personal viewpoint.
Okay, what about something like, if you ask me?
Oh, that one's interesting. It's more informal. It often implies you're offering an opinion that maybe wasn't explicitly requested, or perhaps it's a slightly stronger or critical one.
So a bit more assertive.
Can be, yeah. Or just a casual way to chime in, like, if you ask me, they should have started earlier.
It's a nice car, but if you ask me, it's not worth the price.
If you ask me, we're focusing on the wrong problem here.
She seems okay with it, but if you ask me, she's secretly annoyed.
It adds a slightly emphatic personal flavor.
And finally, for opinions, to be honest.
This signals you're about to say something candid, perhaps something slightly difficult, sensitive, or maybe contrary to expectation.
Like you're giving your real thoughts.
Sort of, yeah. It implies sincerity, maybe even a little vulnerability or directness. To be honest, I didn't really enjoy the party.
Okay. He's nice, but to be honest, I don't think he's right for the team.
To be honest, I'm a bit worried about the deadline.
It looks good on paper, but to be honest, I have my doubts.
It sets up the statement as frank and truthful.
Right. That covers opinions well. How about when you need something? Making requests. We already had could you tell me, but what about could you, more generally?
Could you is a fundamental, polite request structure. Very versatile, similar to could you tell me. Using could makes it softer, less direct than can you, or an imperative.
So could you pass the salt, please, is standard table manners.
Exactly. Could you help me with this bag? It's heavy.
Could you send me the report when you have a chance?
Polite workplace request. Could you please speak a bit slower? All very common, polite ways to ask someone to do something.
And can I, for asking permission.
Yes, can I, is the common way to ask if you are permitted to do something. It's generally less formal than may I, but used very widely.
So can I borrow your pen for a second?
Standard informal request. Can I ask you a question?
Can I leave work a little early today?
Common workplace permission seeking. Can I have a look at that menu? All about seeking permission for your own actions. May I is more formal, but can I is ubiquitous.
Okay. What about would you mind?
This is very polite, often used for requests that might inconvenience the other person slightly. It's indirect.
How does the structure work? It's usually followed by ing, right?
Yes. Typically, would you mind plus verbing? Or would you mind if I plus verb?
Okay. So, would you mind closing the window? It's a bit cold.
Perfect. Would you mind helping me move this table?
Would you mind if I sat here?
Asking permission politely. Would you mind not smoking in here? A polite way to ask someone to stop doing something. The expected polite yes answer is actually no, not at all, or no, of course not, meaning I don't mind.
Right, that can trip people up. A yes means they do mind.
Exactly.
And do you think you could?
Similar to could you, but perhaps even softer, more tentative. It frames the request almost as a suggestion or possibility, lessening any feeling of demand.
Right. Do you think you could give me a ride home later?
Very gentle request. Do you think you could possibly look over this draft for me?
Adding possibly makes it even more tentative.
It does. Do you think you could lend me $20 until Friday?
Asking for money needs politeness. Do you think you could keep an eye on my luggage for a moment?
Yeah, it's a very considerate way to phrase a request.
Okay, requests covered.
Yeah.
Now, the flip side, agreeing and disagreeing. Let's start with agreement. I agree.
Simple, direct, clear. States your alignment with what was just said. Works in most contexts.
I agree that's a very important point.
Yep, I agree with you completely.
I agree that we need to take action soon.
Okay, I agree. Let's go with plan B. Straightforward agreement.
How about that's true?
Also signifies agreement, but specifically affirms the factual accuracy or validity of the previous statement.
So less about opinion, more about fact.
Often, yes. or acknowledging the truth of someone's observation. You're right, that's true. I hadn't thought of it that way.
That's true. The deadline is very tight.
Acknowledging a fact. It is difficult. That's true.
She said it would be challenging, and that's true.
It validates the other person's statement.
And exactly, or absolutely.
These express strong agreement, more emphatic than just, I agree.
Like you really couldn't agree more.
Yeah, something like that. Exactly. That's what I was trying to say.
Absolutely. You've hit the nail on the head.
Strong concurrence.
Oh.
Should we double check the figures? Absolutely.
So communication is key.
Exactly.
Quick, strong agreement signals.
Okay, now for the trickier part. Disagreeing. I disagree.
Like, I agree, it's very direct, can sometimes sound a bit blunt or confrontational depending on the context and tone.
So maybe use with caution.
In some situations, yes, or soften it. But sometimes directness is needed. I respect your point, but I disagree.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I disagree with that approach. Using sorry helps. It does. I disagree. I think the data shows something else.
He thinks it's easy, but I disagree.
Direct, clear opposition.
It was a softer way. Maybe I'm not sure about that.
Yes, that's much gentler. It expresses doubt or slight disagreement without being confrontational. Opens the door for discussion rather than closing it.
Right. I'm not sure about that. Could we look at the figures again?
Good example. I'm not sure about that. My experience was different.
He says it's the best option, but I'm not sure about that.
I'm not sure about that. Let me think about it. It expresses reservation politely.
How about, I see your point, but...
This is a very common and effective strategy for polite disagreement. You first acknowledge the other person's perspective, I see your point, before introducing your own contrasting view.
But shows you've listened, validates them first.
Exactly. It cushions the disagreement. I see your point, but I still think my idea is more feasible.
I see your point about the cost, but we need to consider the quality too.
Good balancing act. I see your point, but have you thought about the potential risks?
I understand what you're saying. I see your point, but I have a different perspective.
Very diplomatic way to disagree.
And actually, I think.
Using actually here often signals a polite correction or a different perspective, perhaps based on information the other person might not have or hasn't considered. It can soften the contradiction.
Okay. Actually, I think the meeting is scheduled for 3 p.m., not 2 p.m. Correcting information politely.
Yes. You think it's straightforward, but actually I think there are some hidden complexities.
Actually, I think there might be a better way to do this.
Proposing an alternative gently. Actually, I think you meant something slightly different. It's a gentle lead-in to a correction or alternative view.
Right. Let's shift gears to offering help. A basic one is, can I help you?
Very common, direct offer of assistance. You hear it a lot in shops, but it's usable in many situations.
Excuse me, you look lost. Can I help you?
Yep. Hi there, can I help you find something? Retail context.
You seem busy. Can I help you with anything?
Friendly offer. Can I help you carry those bags? Simple, direct offer.
What about, do you need any help?
Similar to, can I help you? Maybe slightly softer as it frames it as a question about their need rather than your ability to help. Still very common and polite.
That looks heavy. Do you need any help?
Natural observation plus offer. I'm free this afternoon if you need any help with the report.
Proactive offer. Are you okay over there? Do you need any help?
Showing concern. Just let me know if you need any help. Open-ended offer.
And let me help you with that.
This one's a bit more proactive. Less of a question and more of a statement of intent to help. Often said while starting the action. Assumes help is welcome.
So maybe if someone is obviously struggling.
Often, yes. Oh, you dropped your papers. Let me help you with that.
Right, let me help you with the door.
Common courtesy. That calculation looks tricky. Let me help you with that.
Offering specific assistance. You're carrying too much. Let me help you with that.
Stepping in to assist.
How about, what can I do for you?
This is often used in service contexts, shops, reception desks, but can also be a general, open-ended offer of help. It invites the other person to state their need.
More formal sometimes.
Can be, yes. Good morning. Welcome to the help desk. What can I do for you?
Okay. You wanted to see me. What can I do for you? More general meeting context.
Thanks for calling. What can I do for you today? Customer service line.
You seem troubled. Is everything all right? What can I do for you?
Open-ended offer of support.
Okay, helpful. Now, apologies. Essential stuff. I'm sorry.
The absolute basic.
Uh-huh.
Used for apologies, expressing sympathy, or even minor social bumps like bumping into someone. Context is key.
I'm sorry for being late. Classic apology.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you there. Minor collision.
I'm sorry to hear about your news. Expressing sympathy.
I'm sorry I didn't understand. Could you repeat that? Polite preface. Very versatile. Very important.
What about, I apologize? More formal.
Generally, yes, I apologize is more formal than I'm sorry, often used in writing or more serious situations.
I apologize for the error in the report. Professional context.
Right. We sincerely apologize for any inconvenience caused, often used by companies.
I apologize if my comments offended you.
Formal apology for potential offense. Please accept my apologies. Very formal. Definitely carries more weight than a casual sorry.
And my bad.
My bad is very informal, slangy. It's a quick, casual admission of a minor mistake.
So definitely not for apologizing for a big screw up at work.
Absolutely not. It's for small things. Oops, I forgot to bring the book. My bad.
Who left the window open? Oh, my bad.
Casual admission. Sorry, I bumped your elbow. No worries.
I gave you the wrong directions. My bad. Sorry about that.
It's light, quick. Acknowledge this fault for something minor.
Okay, and how do we respond to apologies? That's okay.
Simple, common, reassuring way to accept an apology for something minor. Signals you're not upset.
Sorry I'm late. That's okay. We just started.
Reassuring. I forgot to call you back. That's okay. No problem.
Oops, sorry. Spilled a little water. That's okay. It's just water.
Minimizing the issue. I apologize for the noise. That's okay. I didn't even notice.
Shows it wasn't a big deal.
How about no problem or no worries?
Very similar to that's okay. Perhaps even more informal, especially no worries. Very common, friendly ways to accept an apology.
Sorry to keep you waiting. No problem at all.
Friendly acceptance. My apologies for the delay. No worries. Thanks for letting me know.
I accidentally deleted the file. No problem. I have a backup.
Relieving stress. Thanks for your patience. No worries. Casual, common responses.
And don't worry about it.
Also very reassuring. It explicitly tells the person not to feel bad or stress about whatever they did. Similar to no worries, but maybe slightly more emphatic in the reassurance.
I'm so sorry I broke the mug. Don't worry about it. It was old anyway.
Minimizing the importance. I really apologize for missing the meeting. Don't worry about it. Sarah filled me in.
Reassurance. I feel terrible about forgetting your birthday. Honestly, don't worry about it.
Strong signal to let it go. Sorry for the mess. Don't worry about it. I'll clean up later. Takes the burden off the apologizer.
Great. Apologies covered. Next up, expressing gratitude. The essential thank you.
Absolutely fundamental. Expresses appreciation, can be made stronger with modifiers like very much, so much, or specifics about what you're thankful for.
Thank you for your help. Direct appreciation.
Yep. Here's your coffee. Oh, thank you. Everyday politeness.
Thank you so much for the lovely gift. Expressing more warmth.
Thank you for taking the time to meet with me. Professional courtesy. Essential in countless situations.
How's it I appreciate it different?
I appreciate it also expresses gratitude. Often sounds a bit more formal or perhaps more heartfelt than a quick thank you. It emphasizes your recognition of the effort or kindness involved.
So maybe for something requiring more effort from the other person?
Often, yes.
Yeah.
Thanks for covering my shift. Sure. I really appreciate it. Right. You didn't have to do that, but I appreciate it.
Acknowledging extra effort. I appreciate your feedback on my proposal. Professional setting.
That was very thoughtful of you. I appreciate it.
It adds a layer of recognized value to the thanks.
And that's very kind of you.
This specifically acknowledges the kindness or thoughtfulness behind an action or offer, often used when someone goes out of their way or offers something generous.
Can I give you a ride? Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you.
Responding to a generous offer. Here, let me carry that for you. That's very kind of you.
Acknowledging helpfulness. Happy birthday. I got you a little something. Wow, that's very kind of you.
Responding to a gift. If you need anything at all, just call me. That's very kind of you. I will.
Expresses gratitude for the considerate gesture itself.
Lastly, for thanks, I owe you one.
This is informal. It means thank you, but specifically implies that you will return the favor in the future. Acknowledges a debt of gratitude.
So, used between friends or colleagues usually. Typically, yes. Thanks for lending me your notes. No problem. I owe you one.
Okay. Could you cover for me for an hour? Sure. Thanks. I owe you one.
Acknowledging the favor. Wow, you fixed my computer. I owe you one.
Expressing significant gratitude with promise to reciprocate. He really helped me out last week. Yeah. Sounds like you owe him one.
Informal way to talk about favors.
Perfect. Okay, we're nearing the end of a conversation. How do we wrap it up? Ending conversations. Let's start with, it was nice talking to you.
A standard, polite way to signal the conversation is ending. usually on a positive note. Works in many situations, from casual chats to more formal interactions.
Well, I should probably get going. It was nice talking to you.
Classic closing. Thanks for the information. It was nice talking to you.
Closing after getting help. It was nice talking to you. Maybe we can catch up again soon.
Expressing hope for future contact. All right, take care. It was nice talking to you.
Nah, simple, polite closure.
How about, I have to go now? More direct statement that you need to leave. It's clear and efficient, but the tone matters. Can be softened with a reason or a preceding polite phrase.
Sorry, I have to go now. My train is leaving soon. Giving a reason.
Makes it softer. Okay, I have to go now. Let's talk more later.
Combining with future plans. It's getting late. I have to go now.
Common reason. Unfortunately, I have to go now. Urgent call. Polite but firm departure.
And take care.
Very common, friendly closing remark. Expresses goodwill and wishes the other person well. Often used right before parting.
Okay, bye. Take care.
Standard farewell. See you next week. Take care.
Looking ahead. Have a good trip. Take care.
Wishing well for a specific event. It was great seeing you. Take care. Warm closing.
Lastly, see you later or see you soon.
Common, informal ways to say goodbye, implying you expect to see the person again, well, later or soon. Later is more general. Soon implies perhaps more imminently or definitively.
All right, I'm heading out. See you later.
Casual goodbye. Gotta run to my next meeting. See you soon.
Implying another meeting is expected. Bye for now. See you later.
Have a great afternoon. See you soon, I hope. Friendly, hopeful closing.
Excellent. We've covered a lot of core conversational functions. Now maybe some common idiomatic phrases that pop up everywhere, like break a leg.
Ah, yes, idioms. Break a leg is a classic. It means good luck, specifically used for performers before they go on stage. Using it outside that context might confuse people.
You have your big audition today? Break a leg.
Perfect use. Tell Sarah I said break a leg before her presentation.
Extending the wish. Nervous about the performance? A little. We'll break a leg.
Encouragement. The cast wished each other break a leg before the curtain rose. Traditional theater context.
How about bite the bullet?
That means to face a difficult or unpleasant situation with courage and stoicism. To just accept something difficult and get on with it.
I didn't want to work late, but I had to bite the bullet and finish the project.
Accepting the necessity. He hates going to the dentist, but he'll just have to bite the bullet.
Facing something unpleasant. We didn't get the funding, so we have to bite the bullet and make cuts.
Dealing with bad news. Just bite the bullet and apologize. It'll be better in the long run.
Encouraging someone to do something difficult.
And get something off your chest.
This means to confess something or talk about something that has been worrying you or bothering you in order to feel relieved.
I had to talk to and get it off my chest. I feel much better now.
Relief after confessing. Is something wrong? You seem quiet. Yeah, I need to get something off my chest.
Signaling a need to talk. She used her therapy session to get a lot off her chest.
If you're upset, sometimes it helps just to get it off your chest. General advice about sharing burdens.
Last idiom for now. Hit the sack.
Simple one. It means to go to bed. Very informal.
I'm exhausted. I think I'm gonna hit the sack.
Common way to announce bedtime. What time did you hit the sack last night?
Asking about bedtime. We stayed up late talking, then finally hit the sack around 2 a.m.
Describing going to bed. All right, team, big day tomorrow. Let's all get some rest and hit the sack early. Encouraging rest.
Great. Now quickly, some phrases specifically for clarification, building on what do you mean? How about, could you repeat that?
Very useful if you didn't hear or understand something. More polite than just saying, what?
Sorry, the connection's bad. Could you repeat that?
Standard use.
Yeah.
I didn't quite catch the last part. Could you repeat that, please?
Adding please, could you repeat the instructions more slowly?
Asking for repetition and slower pace. He spoke very softly. I had to ask, could you repeat that? Necessary when you can't hear.
And what does word phrase mean?
Direct way to ask for the definition or explanation of a specific term you don't understand. Essential for language learners.
You mentioned synergy. What does synergy mean exactly?
Asking about jargon. I'm not familiar with that idiom. What does bite the bullet mean?
Perfect example for our listeners. He used a technical term I didn't know, so I asked, what does that mean?
Seeking clarification. Sorry, English isn't my first language. What does ubiquitous mean? Explicitly asking for definition as a learner.
So you're saying?
Followed by a paraphrase.
Excellent technique for checking understanding. You rephrase what you think the person meant, and they can confirm or correct you.
So you're saying the deadline is actually next Friday, not this Friday. checking specifics.
Precisely. Let me see if I understand. So you're saying we should focus on option A first.
Confirming strategy. Okay, so you're saying you need more time to finish the report.
Clarifying a request or statement, if I understand correctly. So you're saying the main issue is the budget.
More formal lead-in to the paraphrase.
Okay, that's super helpful for ensuring clear communication. We've covered a huge amount today.
We really have. From basic greetings to idioms and clarification techniques, it shows how much of conversation relies on these common chunks of language.
Absolutely. And remember, just, hearing these phrases is one thing, but actively trying to use them in your own conversations is where the real progress happens.
Couldn't agree more. Pay attention to context when and how people use them. Don't be afraid to try them out. It's a big step towards sounding more natural and feeling more comfortable in English.
Yeah, navigating those everyday interactions with a bit more ease. We really hope this deep dive has given you some useful tools and insights.
We hope so too. Keep practicing.
And if you enjoyed learning about these conversational phrases, please do give us a like, share this with anyone else who might find it helpful, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more language learning content.
Thanks for tuning in.
See you next time on the Learn English Lab.